The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their Underdog Pick'em for a chance to win 100 times in NBA, MLB, NHL, golf, and more. Sign up today using promo code MLB SGPN to get 100% deposit match bonus. What else we got? We're also brought to you by the premier arbitrage sports betting tool, Avo. Use their tool to bet both sides and lock in a profit. Access their platform for free at arbsvsodds.com. That's arbsvsodds.com. Plus, in honor of Masters Week, Golf Gambling Podcast guys are giving away a tailor-made spider putter for free. You can enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. What's good, everybody? Lonte here. Me and my man D-Rock. We're gonna break down the card for tomorrow. Short card. We don't have it's not a ton of games. We got a lot of day ball, so looking forward to getting into that with D-Rock. D-Rock, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. Allergies killing me today, but other than that, we're doing all right. Blue Jays forgot how to hit today, so they're losing 6-1 right now. But we're off to a pretty good start. If the Snakes could get there with the money line over the Rockies, I think we'll be in a really good spot. How you doing, man?
Yeah, pretty good, man. I didn't have much action today. I didn't like anything. Maybe I'll put in something for later, but didn't like a lot. But I got some action already on tomorrow's card. It's a short one, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting on the right side. I think we had a good podcast the last time we did, which was like last Sunday. I think we did one that was pretty good. So looking forward to keeping that momentum going. We can start it off right away, man. Unless you got anything like noteworthy that has happened in the past few days that you highlight. If not, we can jump right into it.
No, yeah, we could get right into it. The only thing I had, which we'll get to at the 7-10 game, is Jackson Holiday getting called up, number one prospect. So can't wait to see him play.
Yeah, and then we'll see that today. And he's batting ninth, if I read it correctly. So hopefully he can get going in the lineup. Baltimore a little bit inconsistent offensively, but yeah, man, we can get right into it. I'll start at the top of the card. Excuse me, 12-20. We got your New York Mets, D-Rock, going to face the Atlanta Braves. Braves are minus 200, Mets plus 168. Bear with me if the lines have shifted a little bit. D-Rock, you can update it kind of. I made these maybe probably about an hour ago, these notes, and the lines were kind of just coming in. So if you see any corrections that are like kind of way off, just let me know. But right now I have Atlanta as minus 200 favorite. Mets plus 168 on the take back. Atlanta minus 1.5, minus 103 on the run line, plus 1.5, minus 115 for the Mets. Over under at 9.5. Got Luis Severino going against Max Fried. What you got here, D-Rock?
Yeah, I'm on the over here, man. If you're able to catch the opening total of a 9, really like that. I was able to get a 9.5. I still like the over. I made my total 9.8. So far, both games this series has flown over the total 5-6, 8-7. So, so far, both games have been really high scoring. And with these two guys on the mound, I think we can see another high-scoring game. Fried has not looked good. Gave up 10 runs in 5 innings of work in the season so far. With Severino, he's been okay. He has been able to go 5 innings in both starts, so maybe an out prop is live there for Luis Severino. But Fried in both of his starts went over his number, and Severino has gone over this number in both of their starts. So both pitchers are in high-scoring games. It seems like the Mets bats have woken up. Brandon Nimmo had a hell of a game the other night, so hopefully the offense wakes up a little bit, could be a little more consistent. I think both offenses can help contribute to this over. So going to go over 9.5.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think really what it all boils down to is Fried. He hasn't been good at all. You broke down the numbers. I just think even though the Mets offensively aren't, the Hollywood Sluggers by any means, but again, with Fried having, kind of issues, guys out, I do think that he'll have. I think the Braves are going to have to make a decision early on. They're going to have to get some pitching in, especially with the absence of Strider, depending on the severity of that. But I mean, from all reports, it don't look good. And you got Fried, who's supposed to be kind of the, at the top of that rotation. If he's pitching like this, I think you got to go out. You got to get you another arm or two, maybe 2 arms, to kind of soften the blow. of missing Strider. So I do agree with the over. I think the Braves have no problem scoring runs off Severino at all. Series wise, I think the Mets have been. The Braves have owned Mets in the last 4 or 5 years. So I want to say it's pretty lopsided as far as being dominated. Sorry to say that for you, D-Rock. But yeah, if I would lean anywhere on the side, I would lay the 1.5. See if you can find maybe a plus money. It's right now. I see like -103, -104. So if you want to shop around, see if you can find a plus money, I don't mind that. But I do like the over. Like anything under 10, I do think that it can get over that number, like you said, D-Rock. I'm looking at I think I can see maybe like a 8-4 type game, maybe even 9-5, anything in that vicinity right there. So I'm with you on the over. If I had to play the side, I'd lean to Atlanta laying the 1.5. Maybe look at them in the first 5. The team total over in the first 5. I think that's always a go-to for me. I've lost a couple of bets on the Braves where they've been up like 4-0, 5-0, and they came back and the other team came back and kind of lost by 1. So it's kind of scaring me off of that. But if I had to lean anywhere, it would be with Atlanta minus the 1.5. If you can find plus money. Anything else you want to add on this game, D-Rock? Any player props you like? Anything else?
No, just the Mets slander has to calm down just a little. It's only 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah. I'm giving you the benefit of. I think they're gonna score some runs.
Well, we got Matthew in the chat talking about the Mets have been owned by the Braves for 3 decades now. What is this?
That's fair. I saw it. I mean, it was lopsided. It was lopsided as far as recently. But yeah, man. But we'll move on to get off of that. Get off the Mets slander, man. We'll go to Cincinnati, where the Milwaukee Brewers are coming in 1:10 p.m. Milwaukee -120. Cincinnati +102. Milwaukee on the run line -1.5, +128. To take back +1.5, -154. Over under at 8.5. Get Freddie Peralta versus Nick Martinez. Similar to what we said in the previous game, do you like the over? I actually love the over. I mean, both games in the series have flown over so far. I think 32 runs in the 2 games they played. I'm not sure. Are they playing right now, or is that game for later on?
Yeah, it's later on in the night.
Yeah, okay. So I'm pretty sure I'm expecting another high-scoring game. Milwaukee has been pretty dominant in the series, won 7 of 10. Now, it is kind of counterintuitive because 7 of those 10 have also under, but I think the offense of Milwaukee has improved this year. And I do think that Nick Martinez can be gotten. Milwaukee is nearly like 10 hits per game. They're 4-1 on the road, second in on-base percentage. Peralta was okay, but not great in his first outing. I think 5 2/3. He allowed 3, struck out 7. But in his last 2 starts versus Cincinnati, he hasn't allowed a run at all. So I'm looking forward to him, probably getting back to form. And he wasn't bad. Like I said, he wasn't bad in the first game that he pitched, but I would expect a little bit more. But he is going against a pretty good lineup for Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is, they're 5.5 runs per game. They allow 5 runs and give about 9 hits. They also are really aggressive on the bases, first and stolen bases. And I think Martinez is pretty much the weakest link in this matchup. I think the Milwaukee offense can get to him. I mean, he was lit up by your Mets. He rocked 5 earned on 8 hits.
Yes,
and
sir.
we mentioned how kind of down a lot of people are on the Mets. So I don't think that is a good segue to go into this game against the Milwaukee Brewers offense, who I think has improved this year. So D-Rock, I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Brewers on the run line. I'll lay the 1.5, and I love the over in this game. What you got?
Yeah, I like the Brewers here in this spot as well. I'm just going to take them on the money line, -120. I think Freddie Peralta is just a much better pitcher than Nick Martinez. The Reds, they're trying to convert Nick Martinez into a starter, but it's just not working. He was more of a relief kind of guy, in my opinion. And also, the Reds have been an up and down team to start the season, whereas the Brewers are just more of a consistent team. 4-1 on the road for the Brewers straight up, and Reds at home 4-4. So they're only 500 at home. So they're seeing the ball really well too. Milwaukee, second in batting average, third in slugging, and this is not like a Brewers team that we're used to seeing. They really can't score runs, but like you said, first 2 games of the series have flown over the total. They're stealing bags as well. Red strike out a lot. Peralta had 7 Ks and 8 Ks in his first 2 starts, so maybe look towards a K prop for Freddie Peralta. I agree on the over. I made my total 9.4. We know Great American Ballpark is a hitter-friendly ballpark. Plus, we got 15-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. So, yeah, I love the over, especially if you could get plus money. But I agree. I'm going to be on the Brewers here.
Yeah, I was looking at Freddie Peralta. I was looking at his total outs prop as well. But the K prop might be a little bit better for me as well, being that Reds have that high strikeout rate. So, anything else you like in this game, D-Rock? Any props? Anything?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, get your. I'll look at some Freddie Peralta, Cy Young too. Being that we got these pitching injuries, I bet him before the season at a pretty nice price. I think he can get there. Well, not get there, but I think he can be in the running late if he can keep up, the good work, especially with the bats, being behind him. So I think that's something you want to look into if you want to, if you bet to lay on. Before we get to the next game, D-Rock, we're going to go and talk about the Masters. Do you play golf, D-Rock?
I play mini golf. I've tried to play golf, but I definitely could get a tailor-made shit if I win. I put some master futures in, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there you go. So in honor of the Masters Week, the Golf Gambling Podcast guys are giving away a tailor-made spider putter. You can enter for free, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. So, any of you golf guys out there, make sure there's contest to enter. So yeah, D-Rock, we're gonna move on to the next game. We are going to go to Detroit, where the Minnesota Twins will be coming in and playing the Detroit Tigers. Minnesota minus 102, Detroit minus 116 on the money line. Minnesota minus 1.5, plus 164 on the run line. Take back plus 1.5, minus 200. Over under at 6.5, which is really low. Again, two good pitchers though. Pablo Lopez versus Tariq Skubal. I'm gonna be honest, D-Rock, man. Hey, listen, I've been riding the Tigers all year. I think all of our guys were pretty high on the Tigers, with the exception of maybe, I don't know if Mal or Scott. One of those guys weren't as high as the others. I could be mistaken, so forgive me if I am. But yeah, I like Detroit, and I'm leaning to the under. It's a small number, but Detroit, they've won 6 of their last 10 against the Twins. 4 of the last 5 recently. Detroit's really good at home so far. Small sample size, of course. But they're 6-2 on the year. Minnesota 3-2 on the road, but they're on a 3-game skid right now. Both teams play really good defense, tied for second in fielding percentage. I like both pitchers. Lopez 19 Ks in his last starts versus Detroit. He pitched 6+ innings in both of those games. Always a quality starter for the Twins. So I think if you want to look at some props for Lopez, he's a good look. Maybe some total outs. Because he's going to go 6, I would guess, and check out a bunch as well. Detroit, 3.5 runs per game, 24th in the majors, 6th in runs allowed at 3.5 as well. So they're getting the job done. Skubal has been phenomenal his last 5 starts, 5-0, dating back to last year. ERA of 1 on an average of 6 innings pitched. He had a rough outing versus Oakland, so I'm looking for him to get in bounce back mode here against pretty bad Minnesota offense. He hasn't allowed a run versus Minnesota in his last 2 starts. So if you combine all that, D-Rock, I think Skubal, after that rough outing versus a low average to bad Oakland team, I think comes up with a vengeance against Minnesota, who's not really a good team at all. The 30th in batting average, batting under 200 if I'm not mistaken. So I think he can get going here. I think we see a low-scoring game, maybe a 3-1, 3-2 type of game. So I'll go with the home team. I like the Tigers.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I like the Tigers here, too. I took them on the money line, minus 116. I made the Tigers a minus 130 favorite against the Twins. Twins did pick up a nice win on Tuesday against the Dodgers. They finally able to snap their 4-game losing streak. Now they got to travel to Michigan to play a solid Tigers team. You're right. I was high on the Tigers coming into the season as well. Tigers got back into the win column the other night. They defeated the Buccos, snapping their 3-game losing streak. So I agree. The pitching matchup is really good. I just think Tariq Skubal is the better pitcher, though. He's been able to go 6 innings in both of his starts, so maybe look towards an out prop for him.
Yes,
walks are down. He struck out 15 batters in 12 innings, so a lot of swing and miss from Tariq Skubal. Besides those 2 home runs he gave up, he's been lights out. The Tigers have won both of his starts as well. Total is very low, which I kind of see why. There's 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing in tomorrow. So 6.5 is extremely low. I understand why it's that low, but I agree with you. I'm going to take the Tigers here, -116.
Yeah, that's a super low total. But both pitchers pitching well. And like I said, I think that I think Scuba will bounce back. He was roughed up against Oakland, and he didn't have his best stuff. So against a below average offense, was averaging just under 3 runs per game. I think he'll get right, and he might even shut out. I mean, it's not like he hasn't before. His last 2 starts, like I said, he hasn't allowed a run at all. So we'll move along to Houston versus Kansas City. Houston -134. Take back on Kansas City +114. This starts at 210. Another day game. Houston -1.5 +110. To get back +1.5 -142. Over under at 9. Pitching matchup, we got Hunter Brown versus Brady Singer. I'm leaning to Kansas City and over. I don't really have a good feel. I'm not. If it was, I'm high. I was high on Kansas City, and I know they haven't. I mean, it's early, of course, but they've been pretty good, man. I mean, they won 5 straight. I know 4 were against the White Sox, but they dominated that series. It wasn't like it was close. It was 20-5 in that series. Their offense, I mean, their defense has been really good, allowing just under 3 runs per game. And if you look at some of the recent success against this Houston team, Kansas City's won 7 of their last 10 versus Houston, which includes 4 in a row, all competitive games. So it wasn't like they kind of blowed them out or whatever. So they're comfortable in that close game environment. Singer was pretty excellent versus the White Sox, and again, you take that with a grain of salt, being that the White Sox are probably one of the bottom 5 teams in the majors. But I think it's a step. I think it's a step up in class offensively. The bullpen is a bit of a question for Kansas City as well, which is what's keeping me off. They got an ERA of right around 4, but opposite side, not much to like about Hunter Brown either. I mean, he was demolished by Texas, and again, that's a Texas offense that's light years ahead of what this Royals offense is. He only lasted 3 innings versus them, averaged nearly 27 pitches per inning. And in his last start versus KC, totally different team and different time of the year, but 3 innings pitched and allowed 600 runs, 4 of those were home runs. So they've had some success against them. The bullpen is the biggest issue for Houston as well. 4.95 ERA, allowing almost 6 runs per 9. So I want to take Kansas City here, but I just can't do it with Singer on the mound. Maybe I'll take a first 5, D-Rock, but I do like the over. I'm thinking offenses can get to the opposing pitcher. What you got?
You're not going to take him, I will. Give me the home dog,
right.
Kansas City, +115. I only made the Astros a -110 favorite, so we're getting some plus value here with the home team. And to be honest, Lonte, I just feel like the Royals have been playing much better baseball right now than the Astros. KC, they've won 5 in a row. They took the opening game of this series. They're playing good defense, like you said. Their pitching has been spot on. Both teams playing great towards the under, especially the Royals. They've gone under this number in 4 straight. You mentioned it. Hunter Brown has not looked good to start the season. He's yet to go 5 innings. Walks are also an issue for him. So maybe over 1.5 walks for Hunter Brown. He could do it in 2-3 innings, just like Austin Gomber. So maybe a walk prop for Hunter Brown. But Brady Singer is just a much better pitcher. 1 run allowed in 13 innings. The Royals are 2-0. In both of his starts. Their offense is just clicking right now. Trevor makes a good point. I think Astros are kind of hung over from that series against the Rangers. So I think it continues. I think the wrong team is favored. Give me the Royals here, +115 at home.
Yeah, I wanted to take them, man. I really did, but I'm petrified of the bullpen. And if that offense, I mean, this is probably the best offense that Kansas City's placed. Now, granted, they did hold them to 3 runs last night, and I think they came back to win that game. So I know they'll fight, but I think it's Houston might come out and their offense might just be on fire with Singer kind of misplacing some things. So I'll hold off. Go ahead.
Real quick, Houston's bullpen's actually worse than Kansas City's right now. Kansas City kind of middle of the pack, like 14th, 15th, but Houston has a bottom 10 ERA, 4.95. It scares me.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't back Houston either. And the only side I would play would be the home dog. I'm probably going to play first 5 for Kansas City. I just didn't see a number out for it yet. Anything else you got in this game?
No, I'm good, kid.
All right, man. So we're gonna go to Texas, and when the Oakland A's plus 158 traveling to Texas to play the Rangers, minus 188 on the money line, 235 start time. Texas minus 1.5 on the run line, even money, plus 1.5, minus 120 on a take back. Do you see a total, D-Rock? When I was doing my notes, I didn't see one.
Yeah, 9.5. Even money on the over, minus 115
Right.
towards the under.
Got you. So we got Jay Sears going against John Gray. I'll start it off, D-Rock, man. I think Oakland has been a little bit. They've been competitive, man, to start. I mean, maybe it's just that, they're kind of just don't want to go into full tank mode right away, but they look pretty good. I mean, 3 of the 7 losses are by 1 run, another by 2. So you got 4 losses by a combined 5 runs. So I mean, I think that's pretty good. They've won 3 of 5 versus the Texas. They playing solid on the road, 3-1. Rotation has allowed a solid amount of contact, 10 hits per game, but they keep the ball in the park. They don't allow a lot of home runs. They do need to get better fielding, 30th field percentage. But the reason I can't take them, and I can't trust JP Sears. He struggled in his first start. I'm not sure it gets any better versus the Texas offense, who kind of has been in a funk since that the hangover series with the Astros. He allowed 4 runs in 2 of his last starts versus Texas. 4 runs in each of his last 2 starts versus Texas. So I'm looking at Texas to kind of explode here. I don't want to play them on that run line, so I'm going to look at the team total. D-Rock, John Gray also. He's only pitched 2. He pitched a 3 2/3 scoreless innings. He bounced back from allowing 4 and 3 2/3 versus the Cubs. He pitched that scoreless inning against the scoreless 3 innings against Houston. So he should be pretty well equipped to handle this Oakland lineup. So I'm leaning to Texas, but I don't want to take them. But if I had to play anything, I would play the over and the Texas team total over.
Yeah, this was a tough game to handicap, Lonte. I really wanted to take the A's in some way, shape, or form. A's 7-1 on the +1.5 run line last 8 games. They won 3 in a row. Rangers, they've lost 3 in a row, including the first game of this series. Sears, he did have a better outing in his last performance compared to his first start. He doesn't strike out a ton of batters, but if he keeps the ball low, I think it could go right. Gets a lot of ground balls. I'm not the biggest John Gray fan either. He doesn't go long into games, and he has back-to-back starts with 3+ walks. So maybe another guy to look towards a walk prop. John Gray walks a lot of guys. I think the A's can continue to streak. My worry is the Rangers hit lefties really well. That's what kind of stayed me away from this game. So I probably won't have anything officially, but for this show, I'll take a shot. A's +1.5, -120. I think it continues.
Okay, I'm with you. So before we get into this game, let's talk about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. I'm gonna put in probably a nice pick of entry tonight in the NBA. We got some big games in the NBA. I might put together some MLB stuff if I can get to it. You like anything MLB wise? Player props tonight, D-Rock, that you want to go higher on?
My props were already actually, yeah, give me Marcus Stroman over 17.5 outs.
Yes,
he's
sir.
been going long.
Yeah, love that. So in a pick'em game, you can pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in a week's game, or for a chance to win big, can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Can also make rivals picks, which puts 2 players against each other. Example, which player will have more yards. In our case, like which player will have more Ks. So you can go Stroman versus, I don't know who they're throwing tonight, but I'm pretty sure Stroman's going to be favored. So we'll go Stroman there for Ks. And also, we're going to go and talk about basically, I think that tonight I'm going to go with NBA. I don't have a lot of MLB stuff for right now, but I'll go with a little NBA underdog, or probably a 2 or 3 player playing the biggest game of the night. You like anything in that game, D-Rock? Minnesota versus Denver?
Big game for the number 1
Big
seed.
game.
No,
Big
but
game.
there's a lot of big favorites. I actually like a prop in the Cleveland and Memphis game. I know Cleveland like 18-point favorites, but
Sure.
Evan Mobley's looked good. I took his over par points, rebounds, and assists over 27.5.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad. So you can sign up today with promo SGPN and get your first deposit doubled to $100, as well as instant pick'em special. Visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with promo code MLB SGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as instant pick'em entry. Must be 18 plus, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play, call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, D-Rock, got a few more games left on the slate. Let me get back to my screen. We're gonna go to Philly. Pittsburgh Pirates traveling to face the Phillies. Pittsburgh plus 142. Minus 155, minus 156 on the get back for Philly. This is a 6:40 start time. Philly minus 1.5, plus 122 on the run line, plus 1.5, minus 148 on the get back. Over under of 9. We got Jared Jones facing off against Ranger Suarez. Has any of that changed, D-Rock? Because I've seen like a TBD for the Phillies, and then I saw Suarez starting a couple of times. So just want to clear that up, make sure that we got the
right. No, that's who it is.
All right. So yeah, what you got?
Yeah, let me I can't take the Phillies here, kid. I can't. Oh, I only made them a minus 145 favorite, and we haven't even got there yet with the Pirates. So maybe wait and see to where the money and tickets come in on. But for the show, it's either going to be Pirates first 5 plus a half, or sprinkle a full game plus 134. I like this Jared Jones kid. Strikes out a ton of batters. He gets a lot of ground balls. Hard hit rate is down, which is a very good thing, especially coming into the big leagues at a young age. So, and it's also good against a lineup of the Phillies that could also wake up in a blink of an eye. So Philly right now, they're wishy-washy team, and I just can't trust them. Their bats are too inconsistent, and again, they have a top 5 worst bullpen. They just can't figure their bullpen out. So, if the Pirates can jump out to a lead early, I think Jones can limit the Phillies. So Pirates, no numbers are out, but Pirates first 5 plus a half. I would even look towards a K prop for Jared Jones as well. He has 17 Ks and 2 starts, so maybe a K prop, but I'm going to look towards the Buccos in some shape or form.
Yeah, I wanted to play them as well. I like a first 5 call. I'll lean their way. I do like the over. What's keeping me off is because the Phillies inconsistent offensively, but pretty much a lot of their good performances on offense have come at home, so it's kind of scaring me off. And Jared Jones, I mean, he's faced a good lineup. He held Baltimore to 2 runs, and like you mentioned, he had those 17 Ks in his 2 starts. Pittsburgh offense has been on fire lately. I mean, 2nd in hits, 5th in batting average, and on base percentage. They perform well on the road, 6-1. It's just that I don't know if I think the Phillies can bust out and have a big performance, so I'll stay off of it. I'll lean Pittsburgh, though. I do like the first 5 call, but I do love the over. Philadelphia over in 5 of the 6 home games. Pittsburgh over in 6 of the 7 road games. So I do think we see some runs here. But as far as the side, I would lean to Pittsburgh, but definitely will be on that first 5 with you. You got anything else for this game?
No, sir.
I think we got this is the last game of the night. So we'll go with the Baltimore Orioles. They'll be traveling to Boston to face the Red Sox. Baltimore favored minus 118. Boston even money on a take back. Baltimore minus 1.5 plus 132 on the run line. Get back plus 1.5 minus 160. We got Grayson Rodriguez versus Garrett Whitlock. I didn't have much in this game, D-Rock. Anything you like specifically?
Yeah, I really like the Orioles here. I got a minus 115. Numbers going the other way. I made the Birds a minus 135 favorite with Grayson Rodriguez on the mound. Both pitchers, they've actually both looked really good to start the season, but I think we've seen a little more out of Grayson Rodriguez, his ability to go deep into games, get guys to swing and miss, 16 Ks in 12 innings. The long ball could be an issue for him sometimes. So, I might sprinkle a little on Grayson's K-prop as well. The Red Sox are top 5 in the league in strikeouts so far this season, so that's a look I like. But I'm going to take the Orioles here on the road. I think we're getting a very short number based on the way the Red Sox have been playing, which I don't expect to continue. So banking on some regression for the Red Sox and Whitlock. And depending on what the number comes out to, I'd probably look towards a Grayson K-prop as well. I think that's worth a look.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. It's probably like our first disagreement. I'm leaning to Boston. They've been a bit of surprise for me, man. I don't know. I know a lot of people have pegged them to be at the bottom in that conference and probably one of the worst teams not the worst, but at the bottom of the league. But they've been a bit of surprise. It's their first home series. They lost a tough one last night. I think it was 7-1, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they'll bounce back today. I think they'll keep it going tomorrow. They're third in runs and hits allowed. So the defense has been tremendous. As far as the pitching, the first in overall ERA, second in WHIP and Ks per 9. Offensively is where they're pretty much average. But I do trust Whitlock. I mean, he's only allowed 1 run in his first 2 starts on 7 hits. He's thrown a lot of pitches in a short amount of innings, though. That's what kind of worries me. He had 101 pitches in 4 1/3 innings in his last game. So that has me a bit concerned, but hitting for Baltimore has been kind of inconsistent. I think the insertion of Jackson Holiday maybe inject some life in him. Like we mentioned at the top, I think he'll be batting 9th, and this will be his second game. So I'm intrigued by how he looks. But I do think that the over is a good play as well. 11 runs in the first meeting. The series has been back and forth between these two. They've been alternating wins in the last 7. If you follow that same pattern, it's time for Boston to win one tonight. Well, I guess it depends on what happens tonight. But yeah, they've been alternating wins in the last 7 games. But I do like Boston, and I like the over in this game. I would even look at maybe a Whitlock total outs prop as well. I'll look at him to go under his total outs prop because he throws a lot of pitches. And with this lineup, if they can get going, I'm not 100%. That's kind of counterproductive in my handicap. But I think that we see some runs, and if Whitlock can't last, it might get scary. So maybe I'm just going to lean to Boston and not really like them. But I do think the over is a good bet. Anything else you like in this game, D-Rock?
No, I just think this is the game we disagree on. Like, I kind of like the under. And
okay. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I get it for sure. But yeah, man, that's 7 games wrapped up, handicapped. We can get into the lock and dog. Do you reckon you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off real quick. I gotta know you said you're a fan of Whitlock, not Jason Whitlock, right?
No.
He's been going crazy on Twitter.
Bro, I don't even listen to it. Bro, he's so bad. That's so bad.
All right. Let's go.
Garrett Whitlock is my
Garrett Whitlock. Yeah, not Jason. We've got to clear that up. For my lock, I'm gonna go back to a 1:00 game against the Tigers and Twins. I'm gonna take Tarek Skubal and the Tigers. I just think right now they're the much better team with the better pitcher. I don't trust the Twins. Yeah, they beat the Dodgers. It was a good win. They snapped their 4-game losing streak, but I think they come back to reality. That was probably their biggest win of the season. Tigers are a much better team, so should be a low-scoring game. But yeah, I do like the Tigers here on the money line as my lock. And as my dog, give me Brady Singer and the Royals at home. I don't think Hunter Brown should be this big of a favorite, especially on the road with how inconsistent this Astro team is. Their bullpen is bad. I just really don't like them. I'm going to take the Royals here as a home dog, as my dog of the day, plus 115.
I like that, man. I really do. For my lock, I'm gonna go to a game that I took the run line on. Should I make this? Because I was gonna go with Detroit as my lock as well, but just for the sake of the show, just so we don't give out the same play, I'm gonna go minus 120 for Milwaukee. Is that still available for the Brewers? Minus 120.
Yeah, minus 120. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take that. Peralta is dealing really. He's gonna be going pretty well. Like I said, hasn't allowed a run in the last 2 starts versus Cincinnati. He was okay in his first start. I think he bounces back and has a good outing on the road. He has a good offense behind him. Milwaukee's pretty much dominated this series. I think the offense will be able to get to Nick Martinez, which ultimately will take the pressure off of Peralta. And I think he deals even with the pressure on. So I like Peralta and Brewers minus that 120. For the dog, I'm gonna go with Texas, man. I'm gonna lay the run and a half with Texas. I think they snap out of the funk, and they're on a losing streak right now that could end tonight. But I think the offense will be just too much. I mean, they're top 6 in most offensive metrics, no matter if you want to go to advanced or not. I do think if John Gray can give you a little bit more before you get to that bullpen, like I said, 3 2/3 in his last 2 starts. If he can give you maybe 5, I know he's coming off the injury or whatever. Is he the Gray that's coming off the injury? I get him mixed up with the other Gray. It's like 3 Grays that I get mixed up.
I don't think so.
Okay, so he has to go a little bit longer than 3 innings. But I do trust the bullpen. I don't think I have to worry about a lot of the offense for Oakland. I mean, yeah, the offense for Oakland. So give me John Gray and the Rangers -1.5 at even money for the dog. That'll wrap it up for us, D-Rock, man. Any parting shots? You want to take a shot at Munaf? You want to take a shot at Scott, Mal? Here's your chance right now, man, to take a shot. I take shots at Munaf all the time.
No shots. I'm on the White Sox +1.5 right now. God,
I'm gonna pray for you, brother.
Yeah, pray for me there. And just hopefully we have a good night. Hopefully we cash all of our bets, and I'll be right back here tomorrow with Mal. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, man. Mal is gonna be. I gotta tune in. I do a show with Mal on Sunday. But yeah, man. Thanks for everybody listening. Appreciate everybody in the chat as always. Make sure you follow everybody on Twitter. We're scrolling through. Follow us out on YouTube. Hit this like, subscribe. That'll do it for us today, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Like you said, like D-Rock said, him and Mal will be back tomorrow to break down the card for Friday. So with that being said, man, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.